What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 404 show on this Friday, July 1st. I know you're probably not at work today because if you're like every other normal person on the planet, Fridays before 4th of July, you don't do shit.
Do people get off? I feel like they get half days maybe if they're lucky.
Half days maybe.
I'm not joking. Russ, Peter Ha, we are the only 3 people in the building. They had to keep the door.
I saw Vinny outside.
Thanks for playing along
I'm
with mine.
technically not at work, so...
Yeah.
That's true.
You're part of the problem, Peter Ha.
true.
Welcome back to the show, dude. Round of freaking applause.
It's been a long time.
It's been way too long.
I've never been on the show with Peter on the show.
Is that true?
That's true.
No, we
There's never
haven't.
been a crossover.
Since you started hosting.
Right.
Huh.
And that was...
I bet Peter
Almost a year ago.
Peter just found that out right now. That
No,
Russ
I know what's going on.
Oh, you knew? Okay.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from
I know how to read Twitter bios.
You've been around the block. Speaking of what you've been up to, dude, it's been so long, and I just want to congratulate you because this is like the longest I've ever known you to hold a job. So you must like it.
You're a dick.
Is it true? Have you not... Is this the longest you've ever held a single job?
It's got to be. It's got to be true.
In recent years, yeah. I'd say earlier when I was writing for Crunch Gear, TechCrunch. I mean, that was quite a while.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
I've been in New York 10 years now, so that was probably 8-9 years ago.
If you don't know Peter Ha is a legacy member of the 404 alumni.
That's nice.
I mean,
Thank you.
This must be well beyond double digits for you being on the program. Maybe we're just about to hit 10.
Maybe.
Always a good time. Like I joked, you move around a lot, but you do have a pretty steady situation right now. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to right now. You're a legend in the tech journalism world. Stories of your prowesses travel far and wide. Do they not? I mean, I know a lot.
Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, you're the Kingslayer. You're the Tech Slayer.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's
a compliment.
that might be the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
What can I say?
And giving you a compliment, breaking through that hard porcelain exterior, that's tough to do.
Well, here's the thing. I think when we all started doing this sort of thing years and years and years ago, there weren't a lot of us.
Right.
Yeah.
I just came to the realization at some point a few years back, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
So you
For
got out.
a variety of reasons. Actually, don't get me wrong. I wish I was still doing this.
Oh.
Believe me. But yeah, I just sort of left a couple of years ago because, at least for me, I was covering consumer tech, which hasn't really changed since 2007, let's be honest. Since the iPhone came out, it's always just been iPhone. When's the next iPhone coming out?
It's been on that kind of trajectory.
Yeah.
There's VR is new. The fitness stuff is new. There's been different products. There's been different products.
I mean,
different.
But categories, you mean? Different categories.
Different categories, yeah.
Yeah, but how fun and cool is VR?
Very
I'll
fun
tell
and
you.
cool.
I'll tell
We're
you
gonna talk
about
about
the best VR I've ever done, and I did that Wednesday.
All right.
But
We'll see.
But what else? So now you're in advertising.
So I work in advertising. I work for some big brands that you've probably heard of, but I will not talk about.
So like IKEA.
No. I
Disney.
wish. No.
You gonna tell
Coca-Cola, like in Mad Men. Did you write the song? I like to make the world. What is it? I'd like
make
to
the world.
Get the world to sing.
I'd like to give the world diabetes.
Any advertisement you've ever liked in the last year, I did those.
You did this.
Well, I remember last time you were here, you were talking about your whole Dead Mouse Nissan thing. That was cool.
Yeah, so that was fun. Got to hang out with him. That was an interesting character.
Yeah, I bet because he never takes off that helmet, right?
Like, how does he pee?
He hardly ever puts that thing on.
He doesn't wear it in the bathroom?
Not that I know of.
Huh.
I'll bet it's not even him performing.
Yeah.
I'll bet he has like a bunch of interns. And it's like, okay, Jerry, it's up. You put the helmet on.
You think I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
You think the 2 Daft Punk guys are the same guys?
No.
Come on. There's
No.
It's whatever
They're
day
just
of the
paying
week.
some guys to just stand up there and
College
dance
kids.
around.
Interns.
It's super cheap.
Intern.
$20,000 a year.
Wow.
Send him out there. Oh, I'm going to touch the discs.
Right.
And it's over.
How do I get that gig? How do we get that gig?
It's easy. I don't know.
Is there like
Well,
a trio thing that we could take over?
You get famous,
Yeah.
but you have to wear a mask the whole time. Like
Exactly.
Sia, no one knows who the hell she
No.
is. She's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
She's amazing,
Fair
but no
enough.
one knows, right?
Sure.
No, actually, they do know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they
She only started not showing her face
when she hired some
Semi-recently.
college kid.
Yeah,
exactly.
so-
she came to
The
the
last couple
realization.
years.
I was watching her car karaoke thing she did with James Corden.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, CBS's James Corden.
Yeah.
And it's very good. And they were kind of like playing around with the idea that she's anonymous, quote unquote. And she was talking about how like, oh, I don't want to be famous. Like, I don't want my likeness to be associated with some sort of like visuality of my face.
Yeah, because she
does
wants
that
to be able
mean?
to walk down the street and not be bothered.
Or you could go on YouTube and search for Sia 2012 and
Right.
see
Right. So that's my whole thing. And
billion videos of her.
And that's the point. It's like, we'll see it. Like, people have the internet and they
Right.
can just like figure it out. So I don't know. It's
I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Sure. It's like Banksy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
You
but
gonna rep Banksy? If Banksy's people came to you,
How would
Yeah.
you even know if it's really Banksy?
Right. Yeah.
Well, he would find out. He would.
how would I find out?
I don't know. How does that happen?
How would you confirm that?
How does Banksy get verified?
Right.
Oh, how does he hire people?
Yeah.
Well, not
And how do
only
you know
that,
that
it's like, remember
Maybe he
that
just
actually
like does a
Banksy?
painting in front of you and it's like, see, it's me.
They did that gig at Central Park where he was like selling original Banksy pictures a few years
For
back.
like $25.
But like,
But was he selling them?
No, it wasn't him. It
Oh,
was
it
someone
wasn't.
he
But someone was
hired.
selling.
how do we know?
That was part of the installation he did here.
Right.
Right. Which I thought
I mean,
was
I
pretty cool.
guess, if you have the money to like pull off that like Disneyland thing, you're probably Banksy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Anyway, it's good to have you back. I'm glad
Thanks.
you're going to share some tales of.
Yeah, we'll talk about some stuff
Yeah.
at some point.
Okay. All right. And if not, it's okay too. I have a tale to share.
Okay.
So this week, I had a pretty cool Wednesday. I went to. So this part's not cool, but I went to Madame Tussauds. You ever been there?
In Times Square.
Not
Yeah.
in New York. I've been to, I think, the London one.
They're the weirdest places on the goddamn earth.
Yeah.
Have you there? So it's a wax museum.
Yeah.
Right. So all these famous political figures, celebrities, whoever. There's just like life-size wax sculptures of these people
Yeah,
there.
right.
It's the strangest.
And people take photos like
It is
they're
the
with
Why do
weirdest-
people go to these things?
Why
I don't
do people
understand.
go?
I mean,
have
it
no
is-
idea.
You have to admit, like, it is a very impressive technical artistic skill that, like,
Right.
it is staggering how accurate some of these are.
But it's
I
also
thought
some of them
super
look not
dated,
great.
though.
It's dated. Like Robin Williams is there,
Yeah.
and he looks 30.
Well, what are they supposed to do? Bury him the second he dies?
Oh my God, that's not what I was implying. Oh, Russ, that's dark.
No
Sorry,
comment.
it's dark.
Jeez.
But, like,
Oh.
I
There's
mean,
some
what you
truth to
meant.
that.
My
It's
point is like it was Mork, and
I
I think
understand.
and they should have
Yeah.
had like I don't know.
dress him up as
Mrs.
something
Doubtfire?
else.
That would have been okay.
Age him up.
I'd be into that.
But I agree. Like, is it a thing that people even can still go to?
Right,
in
the
mass?
line's out the door.
Really?
It's a Wednesday afternoon.
But that was for the Ghostbusters thing, right?
No, this was close to the press. This was a press event I was at. The line for regular access to Madame Tussauds was like out the door. People love it.
Guess
So
if you're in Times Square,
weird.
like, what the
so
hell
we're there
else
for
are you
this.
gonna do?
I guess so. We're there for this Ghostbusters experience. So the PR people take us up to the 9th floor, and we get out, and you're like amongst the people there, right? Like you have to walk through this area to get to the Ghostbusters thing, and like Mark and I, my producer, we like get out, and we're like looking, and we're like, what the hell is this place?
Yeah.
Wait,
This
there
is
are
crazy.
9 floors?
Oh my
That
God, there
was
might be more.
surprising.
There might be more.
How many?
Although
how many
I think
people
it
are
must
in there?
skip levels because like
Oh.
each floor is probably like
Something else. Okay.
really tall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And you get out and you're seeing people with their arm around Scarlett Johansson, like thinking that this is it.
This is the closest you're ever going
This
to. I
is
mean, that's probably true.
You're
a lot of
gonna
people.
you're gonna pull one over on people and be like, I actually took a photo with Scarlett Johansson.
I don't know.
Who are you gonna fool?
Like, I'm not joking, dude. Selfies with J-Lo.
I'll bet if you
selfies
did-
with John Hamm.
If you took like a 640 by 480 kind of photo, you could probably pass.
You're not wrong. Yeah,
There's a couple filters.
the window for faking it was like 2010
Yeah.
to 2012. Anyway, we make our way through, and then like the presidential room, which is so funny because the presidential room is dead silent
Because
So,
no
like,
one cares.
No. All hustle and bustle in like the celebrity part, but then the second you get to like the presidential area, everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta be quiet."
Oh my God, that's
Wait,
weird.
why?
Really?
I don't know
Because they
they're
think
paying
the
respect.
wax presidents?
I shit you not.
Is it an Oval Office?
It felt Oval Office-y.
But is it designed like the Oval Office?
Like sections of it were.
Do they start singing?
No,
And
It's
telling
so
about
weird.
Is there a
history?
Secret Service?
Nope. But guess what? Ronald Reagan, way taller than I thought he was.
How do you know? That's just based on the wax guy.
No, they build him to scale.
Oh, okay.
6'1". I didn't have no
That's
idea.
pretty tall.
I thought he was like 5'8". I thought he was like a small dude.
No, that's how I. He was an actor.
Yeah.
Well, then Tom Cruise is like 5'5".
Yeah.
Well,
They have the wax sculpture of Tom Cruise in just
wee.
like a little box.
Yeah.
He's
Little
peeking.
Ant-Man?
Little peeking. You're like, oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. So I'm there to see this Ghostbusters VR experience. The Void. Have you heard of The Void? Do you know what that is?
Vaguely, yes.
So The Void is this company out of Utah that designs proprietary VR experiences. They build sets around VR. So they we're used to VR right now where you're just in like an 8x8 area with something like the Vive and you're walking through with the controllers and you have this, VR experience at home. Well, they take it a step further and they introduce like a funhouse element to it, right? Where it's like, oh, the floor shakes. Oh, we're blowing fans at you according to what you're seeing in the
terrifying.
VR. It was amazing.
But it's not augmented reality, right?
So so let me start you out, right? So you sit down, you get in there, and it's like this loading area, and you go 3 people at a time. You go in, and everyone like puts on this hanging vest, right?
Yeah.
So you strap on the vest, you pull the straps tight, and on the back, again, like they want you to feel like you're a Ghostbuster. So like it feels like you're wearing like a proton pack, but you're probably just wearing like a huge ass battery and a computer. And then they strap you into that. They throw on this headset. The headset is super heavy.
Okay.
Amazingly heavy.
Like way heavier than
way heavier than an Oculus or a Vive. But kind of brilliant because the goggles flip up. So you can like, while you're wearing the helmet, you can flip up the goggles.
So if you get nauseous or sick
or whatever it is. Which is I thought was pretty cool.
Clever.
Like Vive, those things could use that
I
sort
guess
of
if you were
mechanic.
like tied into something, you'd freak out. Like you'd have like a meltdown. And you're like, take me out of this.
I guess so. They're like, if you get nauseous, just reach out and touch the wall. And you're like, okay. Yeah, really wacky. So they put you in, they set you up, and then they hand you like this blaster, this gun. And that is your proton pack. That's your blaster, right?
Okay.
So they start the simulation, and then you're like looking around, you're like, oh, I see my guys. I see the people I'm with. They're Ghostbusters. We're all. Oh wait, I'm a Ghostbuster.
Is this the first time you've done a VR thing, or have you heard of a VR thing where you're doing it with multiple people?
No, there was the Star Trek thing that they recently talked about. That was multiple people.
Oh, okay.
There's been a few of them, but I'm confused. Like you're seeing the Mark.
Yeah. You're seeing an avatar. He's represented by an avatar. But like all of his movements are perfect.
Is he Ray?
No, they were all like
generic,
no-name Ghostbuster people.
Red shirts.
Yeah.
Sure.
In the garb, in the whole getup.
Yeah.
So like head motion was 1-to-1 perfect. The blasters
that you know of.
Yeah, right. Well, no, because like I'm like, is that you, Mark? And Mark went head up and down. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was crazy. Huh. So you can talk, and there's microphones in the and speakers in the ears, and they can hear you.
Are the avatars wearing helmets?
No.
So they're wearing
they're wearing like the ray stands.
Oh, the visor.
Like,
got it.
You know, sort of binoculars, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So it's pretty rad. I'm looking down at my blaster, and I'm moving it, and it's following my movements
it's like
perfectly.
Vive
you don't see your own hands, but you see the blaster,
gloves.
which is really all that matters. No, you don't see gloves or anything like that.
Yeah,
so on the helmets and on the blasters,
that's because they'd have to animate like you holding the blaster and like different portions of you holding the blaster. That's hard to.
It's like not worth
Okay.
it.
All
It's
right.
not worth
Got
it.
it.
All
Got
you really need is that 1-to-1 with the blaster.
Yeah.
The blaster's riddled with those like little ping pong balls.
Yeah.
So that's how how it all works. So you start the simulation. They're like, okay, as soon as that light flickers, put on your helmets and go on in. And you're like, what? That's it? Like we're just free roaming in like some apartment? And like, yeah,
but
go
you're
for
still
it.
wired, right?
No wires.
So what was the
Everything's
thing where
wireless.
it was wired? You said you were wired like something hanging.
Yeah, that was the vest, so you can put it on.
Oh,
That you detach from.
wow,
it. Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
So I would imagine like as they're putting the helmet on you, they're attaching the backpack to the helmet.
Sure.
Like that's probably part of it, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you go in, the light flickers, and you like open a door, and you feel the door. You see the door in VR,
yeah.
but you feel a real door, and you push the door open, and you see the door open, and it's all 1-to-1. And you're like,
And there's no door in real life.
No, there is.
No,
You
there's
feel
a-
the door. You
Gotcha,
feel the
gotcha.
door.
Yeah,
You walk
it's very
in
cool.
and you're in like an 8x8 room.
Yeah.
And you start hearing like the radio controller, or like whoever's leading the mission, your Ghostbuster friend in your ear.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, there's been some paranormal activity in here. Look out the window. And you look out the window and it's like this, you start to see like ghosts on the other side of the street. And they're coming. And then they like pass through and they're like, all right, your proton packs are active. Start shooting them.
Whoa.
And you just unload all over this room with all of and you're just tearing this
So
place
how many
to
people are with you?
So it's 3 total.
Okay,
So
3
me
total.
and 2 other people.
Yeah.
It's me, Mark, and some random.
Okay.
And we're just blasting the things everywhere, and it feels great, and it has that great yellow stream like
Yeah.
you're used to with a proton pack, and like you would like shoot the sink, and the sink would blow up,
Oh,
and like
crazy.
everything felt like it was responding to what you were doing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Things fell on the floor. I shot it on the floor again. They moved again. Like
Right.
it was stuff where like it wasn't canned.
Right.
And then you make your way through, and then they're like, okay, keep going. And then another door opens, and you push that door, and you
Yeah.
keep walking forward. So they like build all of these
And
sets.
it's very structured. So
Wow.
like obviously the next group is coming in right as you're leaving.
No, I think they make you wait because you can like blow through it.
Oh, I understand.
You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
there's certain checkpoints
Yeah.
that trigger the next sequence.
Got it.
But yeah, it's only one at a time.
Were you getting any like feedback? Like haptic feedback
So
sort of?
here's where it
Oh,
gets
yeah.
cool. Little did I know, but the vest I was putting on was outlined with locationally aware haptic feedback sensors.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
like the ghost would like touch your left shoulder and you feel your left shoulder.
There's a scene in the original.
It's cool.
There's a scene in the original Ghostbusters when the ghosts are kind of invading the city, and Ray is taking a nap. He's sleeping, and
Your belt gets unbuckled.
right.
Yeah, his belt.
is
gets
that sort of recreated in the
No,
VR?
I didn't have a sexual experience with a paranormal
you
entity.
sure?
That's not what
Sure
this
you're
was
not
about.
blocking it out?
Right?
Maybe.
or
Okay, well,
just keeping a
just
secret
asking.
so you can go back.
Yeah, right. Nobody go to this. It's terrible. I think I'd remember
Okay,
having a thing
sure.
Okay.
with a phantasm or something like that. Anyway, the coolest part of the whole thing that so the next sequence you get into an elevator and like the door closes and the floor is shaking. You're like, oh damn, this feels just like an elevator.
Right.
I believe everything I'm saying. I look to my left, it's like a metal grate. I touch it. If they have a metal
Crazy.
grate there,
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like that. That's great. And then the elevator stops and this like little girl
Oh God.
starts
Like a ghost girl.
yeah, starts like walking towards you. She's like, I'm cold. And you're like, what is happening?
Did you shoot her?
She passes through the grate
Yeah.
and like
Oh, God.
and she's like in the elevator with you. And then we're all just like, oh, what? And like you could see Mark and I just like bending on our knees to like see her face and like everything. It was just like, this is creepy. She disappears. Then we look down the hallway and the hallway goes on for like, hundreds of feet. And you see Slimer coming at you
Oh, no.
as fast as he can. He passes through the grate, passes through us.
Yeah.
You feel the vibration.
yeah.
As he's passing through you, they missed you.
Oh, that's great.
And you're like, what the hell is happening?
That's really amazing.
It was awesome.
Was that built? The misting built into the helmet, or you think it was
Great
environmental?
question.
You don't know
And tragically, I did not lift the goggles during
any of it. You didn't? Did
Because
Mark
all it would have
didn't?
been was like shitty, like
There's just an
cardboard.
intern with a spray bottle following you guys around.
I'd be really curious, like how much of it is like of like how ugly it is versus.
Oh, I'm
like-
sure it's hideous, and I'm sure it's super bright too.
Oh, really?
It's got to be. There's all the censoring, and like you need light for that. I'm sure it's
yeah.
got to be. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I was talking to some folks at The Verge, and they were planning on. They just put out like this big video feature on that specifically and about. Like,
Oh, so do we.
VR.
It's at CNET.com.
Okay, great. So everyone did the
CNET.com.
same feature apparently,
Yeah.
but they would not let them shoot on the
No,
stage.
no, which makes sense.
I get it,
Because
but
they-
it's also like if you're talking about how you make one of these things, it's kind of a drag to like not have that footage.
That's a feature for a different time, I guess. Like this is something, and I get it, and I'm not trying to defend these people. Yeah, it sucked that we couldn't shoot inside there,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it's ugly as hell. Like,
Yeah.
like why?
No, I
pay
understand.
attention to
I
details if
understand.
you're just trying to create the illusion.
Totally.
Right.
It's probably really funny looking.
Because you're a journalist, Jeff.
Yeah,
and
but
you're supposed to tell the truth.
So then I'm gonna go out to Utah.
Yeah,
and
they
meet with
actually
them
did
and
that.
talk. They did. Right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So the next scene, you get out of the elevator and you're on this like scaffolding outside.
Oh no.
And like you're like, what?
Meanwhile, you're going through Madame Tussauds, right? In
No,
this whole
I mean,
experience,
this
or
This
is
no?
is like a
area.
closed off thing they've devoted to the Ghostbusters thing. This is not like.
But
But how many
moving
rooms
around.
are you going through though?
It felt like I'm sure they reused rooms because you enter the elevator and then you go back out.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. It felt like we were maybe only in like a 800 square foot place.
Yeah.
You know, if that
It'd be
makes
funny if
Okay,
at one
all
point you have to like walk through accounts payable and they're like, oh, another tour is coming through.
Oh God, here we go. Yeah. So you get out and it looks like you're on the 40th floor of a building on the outside on the scaffolding.
Oh man, I would
You
barf.
you touch you see a railing.
Yeah.
Go out, you hold that railing, you feel it, it's there. They put it there, and then what do? They shake the whole goddamn thing, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you have a whole Stay Puft Marshmallow fight.
Sure.
It's
Yes.
great. It's great. The whole thing's great.
Someone throw marshmallows at you?
Yeah, like you finish it, and there's like goop everywhere, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I loved it.
Sure.
Because it was the best VR experience I've ever had.
Wow, yeah.
It was better than anything I've done on Vive,
Sure.
anything I've done on
Because you have
Oculus.
the physical,
Right.
tactical
You
element.
add
Well,
this
it's been
other
built out.
exactly,
Yeah.
and to me, like that's when VR becomes otherworldly.
Yeah.
Like right now, you have this $800 thing in your apartment. It's cool.
You can only do so much.
Right. And I think like this is what VR makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Like make it a theme park, make it a fun house,
Right.
like build it into places, and that's where people should experience it.
And,
you
yeah.
should pay the $50, whatever it is, to go to the museum, do the VR thing. Like to me, that $50 is worth it, opposed to like buying,
Right.
you know,
And
hundreds
it's-
of dollars.
And
of
you know
stuff.
what's funny is that it's the next generation of that dumb like Captain EO ride from Disney.
Right. Exactly.
It's essentially
Oh,
that,
yeah.
where it's just like, you know, finally we can have a ride that has like fantastical visuals, but the only way they could do it before was a screen in front of like a moving car.
Right.
And now it's like like imagine doing a Star Wars thing.
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
It would be amazing.
Like, you
People
get to
would lose
do
their mind.
lightsaber stuff? It'd
I'm
be-
sure Disney's working on this stuff.
And like that's the best part about it, right? So like the Void, I don't know how big of a company they are.
I don't think they're big right now, but I think they're going to make a ton of
they're
money.
going to make a shitload of money because the thing they have, and they just have to like move quickly,
Yeah.
I guess. The thing they've done is really great. The only thing that I would criticize was like graphically, it wasn't the most. It was on par with like a mid-range VR thing. Like
Okay.
it didn't look as good,
But it wasn't
could
as bad
have.
as like a PlayStation VR.
Uh,
Or was it comparable to that?
I think it was maybe a little above a PSVR.
What graphical generation would you compare? Like what console? Like PS3? Did it look like a PS3?
Maybe like in between 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. So a little.
It wasn't, but that's kind of what PSVR
Yeah.
looks like. Like that's
Sure.
where it's
That's
at.
what I'm saying, yeah.
it wasn't remarkably, it wasn't remarkable looking, but it wasn't shit. It wasn't,
Because I guess all of the software or the hardware has to be in the helmet
that's what I'm guessing, or in the backpack.
because they can't stream. Oh, right, in the backpack.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. So to
Yeah.
me, like all these backpacks they have computers.
Yeah.
They're running on batteries
Yeah.
that get charged every time a group goes in and out because
Yeah.
they have 2 sets of equipment.
Yeah. So that's the only concern for them as a business is what sort of like hardware turnover they have. They have
Right.
to replace these things every 2 years.
Exactly. Like I
But
mean,
if it's a huge hit,
but when they get to the point where there's like, I don't know, like think about it. Like you all they need to do is like pop in like a 1080 in there,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, we
How,
can do
But
amazing stuff.
That's got to require a lot of processing power, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
they-
Like that's why a
totally.
1080 like would do that. A 1080 could give you,
yeah, but then you need the power
ridiculous VR.
solution and stuff
Of course,
like that. There's a lot
it's
of-
not easy.
No.
I get it, but they're well on their way.
How long was it start to finish?
I want to say like 7 to 10 minutes.
Okay, so that's relevant because correct me if I'm wrong. $50, right?
So
So talk
$50 gives you access to Madame Tussauds and the VR
got
thing.
it, okay.
And that's if you pre-order it online. It starts today in Manhattan. If you're in or around Manhattan,
Can you just do
this.
the Ghostbusters
Oh,
thing?
this is open to the public. I didn't
Yeah.
Yeah, it
realize
opened
that.
to the public today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
So you can wait in line for Hamilton or do this.
and this will be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get in same day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. And then, I mean, I'm kind of like bearing the lead. I got to interview Ivan Reitman,
Very cool.
which was amazing.
Yeah.
I talked to him for like 10 minutes. He was amazingly gracious and super nice.
Yeah.
And we only took one little slice of the interview for the video we did on CNET, but he is really, and obviously he's got to be optimistic because he's producing the new Ghostbusters
Right.
film and he's working together with the Void and all that. But like he kind of made me believe that he believed that VR had some sort of future in storytelling. And that was kind of like the question I put on him. I'm like, well, like is VR going to be like the way we watch movies? Like, do you think this has legs? And he kind of convinced me. He was like, yeah, it only like, it's tough to imagine the future. Like when people used to just tell ghost stories by campfires, like that's, that's what we had. That was our entertainment. He's like, you can't tell those people like, oh, in 300 years, you're not going to believe what you're going to see in a room on screen.
Right, of course.
That kind of thing. And I guess that's like maybe a kind of gross example, but he just thinks like, well, VR just makes sense because it only is logical to eventually immerse yourself in that story. Mm-hmm. Like, why would we just continue to tell a two-dimensional story? And I just think there's going to be room for both. You know what I mean?
Can I just mention one thing?
What's
and
up?
You might not know this, but if I was interviewing Ivan Reitman, I talked to him about the fact that he's the voice of Slimer.
I did know that.
You did?
Yeah.
It didn't come up?
It didn't occur to me to be like, oh, here's my chance.
To find out just the mental state.
Yeah, like how do you
Slimer
prepare
was in.
yourself to talk like Slimer?
Mm-hmm.
Someone else was like, ask him about draft day. I was like, no, I'm not going to ask him about draft day. But he was super, super kind. I said, like, why? What is it about Ghostbusters? Like, why is Ghostbusters one of like the gems that like has lasted so long and withstood the test of time? And he said he thinks it's because it really is a comedy at its core. And he's like, yeah, ghosts are scary. Dying is scary. And like when you have Bill Murray like laughing about it, it just makes you feel okay. Yeah. It like just makes you think everything's going to be all right. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Groundhog Day was the same way.
Totally, right? Like
very downer subject, but Bill Murray's
just going to bring you out of the ether there. So that was it. I just want to talk real quick about the new Ghostbusters movie. I don't have any sort of expectations for it whatsoever. Yeah. I want to see it.
I just really want it to be good just to shut everyone up.
Of course, and he did mention the whole gender thing, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to tell me that. I'm not an asshole.
What did he say about it?
Where he kind of like highlighted. Well, he was actually talking about the third Ghostbusters movie that they were planning.
Oh yeah,
and he said that before Harold Ramis died, they had planned a sequel, Ghostbusters 3, where it was like men, women, and creatures all being Ghostbusters.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Well, we don't on paper, sure.
Yeah,
but like we don't know
paper.
what that means. Whatever. So here's my only like reservations, and I like the reason I love the original Ghostbusters is for a lot of reasons, but like there's certain things those movies did that I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Sure.
Now, like stuff where like they go into like the lore about like Vigo the Carpathian.
You want to go into that stuff?
I'm just saying, like, it was fun for me when Ray and Egon would like talk about the deep fictional history of these people.
And I'm sure one or two
like
of them are
Gozer,
like super nerdy.
And like Gozer the Gozerian, like they just talk about Gozer for 10 minutes and they're like, no,
not 10 minutes.
You know what I'm saying?
They like go very little.
They go back, but they tell you more about that stuff. I'm curious if they'll have that kind of stuff. I just like that for me. That's not a male-female thing. That is just like, oh, I like that element to it.
They haven't really established whether there is like a big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the trailers, it looks like it's just a bunch of ghosts running around.
I hope there's a big bad. I like big bads.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like, again, nothing to do with the other bullshit controversies that have been going on with this movie, but I hope they trap ghosts, man. Like there were traps, and like I saw what the new trap looks like and all that. But like, I have a feeling that some of the ghosts, they're just gonna like blow up, and I just hope they don't do that.
I think they'll trap some ghosts.
I just hope they don't like shoot a ghost and the ghost just like blows up and like ghost
disintegrates.
Dust. I just don't want to see ghost dust. I just want. Is that too much to ask? What do you think? I know it's nitpicky. It's like silly.
Pretty nitpicky.
It's silly.
No, I mean I want to see them get trapped. And
I want to see like.
I actually want to see where they go.
Right.
Well, they go in the machine.
Right, but like what happened? I don't remember.
That was in the cartoon.
Yes, it's like this cavernous, like weird area.
Well, it's like the negatives, or like what is it? The neutron zone or whatever it is from comic books. It's like cloudy.
Oh,
and
really?
just like, it's like a weird alternate dimension, and everyone's just floating around.
I see. You're talking about like
the containment.
Like Beetlejuice, Dead for the Dead.
Well, that's what it looks like.
I remember there was a real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah.
Where I could have sworn inside the containment unit was like this cavernous, like weird.
It looked
area.
like a demon area. I know what you're talking about.
It had like stalactites.
Yeah, it did have that, but it was like they would be like a stalactite floating in space and clouds and fog
and like Einstein's equation.
Yeah,
like there too. Like total nothing.
But I would like to see that in that seems like a plot point where they have to. Oh, we have to go in.
Right. Like,
someone has to go
like
in.
What are you going to do with the ghost?
Let's go inside the containment unit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love
That's
it.
what I want.
All right. Enough of Ghostbusters. We spent a lot of time on that, but that was my experience. I
Cool.
hope you guys enjoyed hearing that story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about Tesla.
Okay.
So this is crazy. So you and I have always talked about, the notion of driverless cars and how, like, look, it's something we really can't avoid. Like, it just makes sense. It'll happen. There's news yesterday, unfortunately, tragically, a driver who was using Tesla's autopilot feature died in a car wreck. It's really sad. Obviously, this is a big
The
deal.
first one.
But that's the thing, like, it's the first one. So there's a conversation around that. So I don't know. It's weird to, and I know this is like very soon after, and, we obviously have to, be mindful of the situation. But at the same time, like, this is something that will affect a lot of the world very soon.
Yeah. So let's talk about exactly what happened with the car accident. So as I understand it, he's using the autopilot feature on the highway, I guess.
Yeah.
And a truck essentially like cut him off or pulled in front of him, and the car didn't know to slow down and just ran into the back of the truck.
And he didn't see it either, apparently.
He didn't see the truck?
I'm saying the report says that, like, the driver nor the car saw the incoming truck.
It was something about both being backlit as well. If you look at Tesla's press release about it, there's something about how neither the car nor the driver could see the trailer or the truck because they were basically being blinded by
like a sun.
the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's an issue. I mean, that's an issue for human eyes and computer eyes.
I mean, one thing to note about this particular individual is that he was like a really big like Tesla fanboy, autopilot advocate. I think he'd posted something like 40 or 50 videos, like autopilot demos from his own car to YouTube.
So do you think he was like pushing the limits of what autopilot can do? Or got too comfortable with it, maybe?
Maybe got too comfortable. I don't know. It's hard to say.
That's what the conversation is right now.
And well, his last video that he'd posted back in April was he was merging, or a truck was merging, and the driver of the truck didn't see the car, so he was like trying to merge.
Right.
The autopilot kicked in, noticed like, oh, I'm going to get hit, so he jerks over, and then he takes control, and that was sort of the whole... Did you guys see this video?
No,
I did not see that video.
Okay.
No.
I think The Verge posted it yesterday, or they found it and noted that. So I don't know. It's a, like, what do you say? Like, whose fault is it? We don't really know. You can't. I don't know that you can say that it's autopilot's fault or the driver's fault. Probably a combination of both.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way autopilot like counteracts actions that the driver wants to take, right? So if he wanted to swerve out of the way of his truck, the autopilot was not like, nope, you can't do that.
Right. As far as I understand it, there's not a situation with autopilot. It's like, nope, we're not going left.
Right.
You know?
So I think all it says, at least for right now, is obviously the tech is still getting better. Don't trust your life to the autopilot.
Right.
And I think, like, and again, I do feel terrible using this person's death as an example. And, again, like, no one's having fun with this conversation.
No.
But I think, like, we are going to very slowly understand a world where, like, maybe there's this transitional period where there's like manual drivers and auto drivers, and like that's a potentially complicated existence.
Yeah, Tesla offered up the interesting stat point that 130 million miles have been covered using autopilot, and on average, there's a fatality every 94 million miles on American roads for like normal cars. So,
I also like don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's interesting.
We get it. Your cars are safe.
Well,
like,
yeah, I know. They don't protest too much, but it is interesting that like even in this early state of
it's already better.
It's already better.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, like, this is just something that was going to happen. And it's a really sort of difficult situation.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Peter?
Well, I was just wondering if you could click into that, because the first thing I read about this was I think this is the Tesla's press release about it, because it tells you exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So when I read that initially, I was like, well, that seemed to me logically it made sense. I was like, okay, it was a combination of driver and
Right.
autopilot.
You're right. That's what that press release reads like.
And obviously they're going to position it that way, but
they're talking about here the issue that happened last month where this guy was trying to auto park his car and it ran into a trailer. So that's not this. That's a separate story. So he was out of the car and like hit the button to auto park,
and it just like
like didn't see the back of the trailer, and so that's what that.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay. And if we could just like pivot away from dealing with this specific accident, it's for me. It's like, man, are we just doing too much too fast? Like, I get like, look, drivers are terrible. Human drivers suck.
Human error.
Yeah.
So bad. I can't it's getting worse every time I get in that car.
Totally. And I think this is still the way things are going, but this is essentially like the early days of like laser eye surgery. Were you
accidentally going to blind a few people? Is that like
and also like the technology is not perfect, so like you can't see at night. Stuff like that.
Right.
So it's like if you want to be
like
on that cutting edge, that's the risk.
But here it's like, but if we screw up, someone dies.
Or gets getting blinded is pretty damn serious.
It's bad. It's real bad. Yeah. It's a difficult thing to talk about.
I mean, look, it's obviously it's up to the manufacturer's discretion before they release this sort of thing to the public, right?
Sure.
I mean,
and also the government to allow it to be
like there's like that's the thing. Like
we're just in uncharted territory in the automotive industry with autopilot, with autonomous drive stuff. It's just, I hate to say it, and this isn't exactly how I feel, but my gut reaction is to say like, well, shit like this is just going to happen, unfortunately.
Of course.
And people need to understand. And I think, the manufacturers also understand this. And I think this is why Tesla says every time autopilot is engaged, you get this warning that says this is beta, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse, but they're making it abundantly clear, like, don't rely on this thing to save your life.
Right. So like why? So like what are they trying to do with it then?
Yeah.
Is my question, right? Like I get it.
It's an open beta.
Yeah.
But like it's your car.
Data.
Right, but it's your car.
And
it's like a beta,
but you don't have to use it.
Right, exactly. So the people that want to use this crazy technology need to know that it's dangerous, and they're presenting that as fact.
I feel like we might not know a few other things, but it's like the way you're explaining it to me, it's like if this is a beta, how is it okay for like the person who's in a regular car on the highway? Like they're not opting into the beta.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they're
no. But the problem is you could never release something that's fully tested. Because you just don't have a wide enough testing base. So like when you're in a closed beta internally, whatever, let's say there's 300 people driving these things around Tesla's factory, however they do it.
You could pull that off.
Sure, but it doesn't match the amount of data that you collect from having millions of people driving these
things. I also want to know like how autonomous autopilot is. Like is this a thing where like you can drive from here to
Could you
Brooklyn
enter
not
an
touch
address?
Something? Like I don't know the details of that.
I don't think so.
Like could I pop in like Los Angeles and be like, sit back and relax, we'll be there in 7 days.
I mean, I think when you're on the highway, it's a different story.
Yeah, I think those do exist. Like Google definitely has cars that can like do that.
Right.
But I don't know that the Teslas as they exist right now, you can just type in an address and have it go
and just go.
Because that seems like a bad idea.
Huh.
I don't think we're there yet.
No. We're not there yet. Yeah. All right. There you have it.
Because you could like knock out a buddy of yours and just stick him in the car, and like he wakes up in Ohio.
You'd be like, all right, you're going to Nebraska, buddy.
Live it up. Bring back some corn.
Man.
It's insane. All right. That
would be a good prank.
Yeah.
That would be so screwed up to do that to somebody.
Well, it's like in that episode of Silicon Valley.
Right. He gets locked in the shipping container.
It was amazing.
You guys watching that show?
Yeah, it's good.
I've missed the last few episodes.
It's super good.
It just finished. Russ seems to have this unending love for it.
I think it's just so honest and also hilarious at the same time that I can't help but appreciate what
I thought it was a good finale.
The first season?
It's pretty good.
Oh, I just thought about
a lot of that's
my
close to your
first
heart,
few
though.
years of being in tech journalism. I was like, this is exactly what it's like. I looked at my girlfriend and I was like, this is exactly what startup life is in that town.
Yeah. They do a pretty good job with the references and stuff like that. They're
Mike Judge is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got people working on staff that like have either RVCs or have worked in the industry and stuff and know it.
And he
Fake
Steve Jobs.
Fake Steve Jobs.
Whatever his name is, I forget.
Oh, he's a writer.
Yeah, he's like a consultant or something, or a writer.
And don't forget, Steve Jobs, Mike Judge himself had that, not the startup job, but had like the data entry, boring.
Oh, he has a super interesting backstory.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, that's where Office Space is like birthed from. Yeah.
He was like a tech guy. He was some sort of engineer.
And Intertrode.
Listen to the interview that Mark Maron done.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've heard that one. Yeah, that was good.
Really good stuff. And his voice, like Mike Judge is he's got to be from the South, right? Like he's got that twang.
Yeah.
Because his
I think
normal.
He's from Texas, right? Because that's what King of the Hill is based on. Is his dad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he talks about Austin, I think, quite a bit.
His normal voice is a mix between.
It's Hank Hill. Is part
Hank Hill and like kind of
show.
the teacher from Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Like Bobber,
same person,
that kind of thing. Like totally.
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby, your cat. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, what do you want to get into next? We're going to talk about Lucky Charms.
Yeah, let's talk about Lucky Charms.
Inexplicable reason. All
so there is a news peg for this, but I wanted to mention this because I was thinking about it today in the shower.
And you're thinking about how I'm really an 8-year-old at heart, and I eat sugar breakfast cereal.
I haven't bought Lucky Charms. I've been eating Puffins lately, which are quite good.
Oh, those are good.
But every once in a while, I'll get Lucky Charms because I am a child.
Wait, real quick. What, do you still eat cereal?
I haven't had a bowl of cereal, and I couldn't tell you how long.
All right, I kind of still do.
Because I have to get almond milk. So that gets around the...
I also only do almond milk.
Yeah, so there you go.
You guys are just like not built for the real world. What was it growing?
Actually, that's quite the opposite.
I know. Great. Lecture me on lactose. But seriously, what was your breakfast of choice growing up? And we'll get back to
cereal-wise?
Yeah.
I loved Cinnamon Toast Crunch like in middle school, high school.
Yeah, I would
growing up, it was probably like, it was a mix. Fruit Loops, Smacks, Lucky Charms, like everything.
See, I never did I never ate that. Like, I feel like
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles. That stuff's like crack.
Yeah, it's good.
Cocoa Puffs.
What about you, Russ?
I grew up and there was like a lot of health food like forced upon me and like multivitamins and stuff. Clearly it worked out because I'm so hardy now. And then, so I think I probably overcompensated when I went to school and had a bunch of junk food. And now Puffins is like the most sweet breakfast I'll have.
Okay, Cinnamon Life.
Oh yeah, that's very good.
Oh,
have you had Cinnamon Life? I every now and then will buy a box of that and just be like, oh, I need
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Great cereal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was Marshmallow Alphabets. Do you remember that?
Interesting.
This was like the Lucky Charms competitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, oh, you got shapes and crap. We're gonna do letters.
You can spell whatever you want.
You can spell stuff.
Freedom of speech.
And then Frosted Mini Wheats, man.
Yeah.
Give me some of that. Give me some of that all day. All right.
I mentioned Lucky Charms because I was thinking about it today in the shower and how everyone knows the shapes, right? You got
clovers,
moons,
horseshoes,
rainbow, red balloon. Recently
hearts.
Oh yeah,
added like 20 years ago. But
just recently.
Shooting star apparently was added.
Yeah.
What?
There's too many.
But
you can, by the way, you can buy just packs of just the marshmallows on Amazon.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
is it or is it?
Yeah, I know. I need the balance.
It's disgusting.
So, but I wanted to talk about the shapes of the oat things, which get no attention whatsoever.
Yeah, because no one gives a shit about
what? But the non-marshmallow pieces in Lucky Charms,
like the oats,
X's and the
right. So
aren't
like
X's or
I'm looking
O's?
at pictures now. There's like a tree.
What?
Here, look. There's like a tree.
Oh my god!
They're like thing on the right.
Wait a minute. They're like weird religious symbols.
Yeah. There's like a Jesus fish here.
Fish.
A cross.
Is that a bell? What
it
is
looks
that?
like a bell, maybe, but like, what does that have to do with Lucky Charms?
That is weird,
right? So, like, what is the backstory with those shapes?
I hope you have an answer.
I don't.
Oh, damn it!
Is that a cat in that one? That orange and white thing?
Where?
Yeah, this looks too
that looks
real.
like
No, that's
cat.
the shooting star.
Oh,
it's kind of messed up.
It's like the more you know thing.
They were really ambitious with that one. I mean, it is pretty impressive because like these are multicolored.
What did they do with the clover? Why is it? Is that a hat now?
Here?
No. That one.
Oh, the clover. Yeah, it has a clover on it. Yeah, it's a leprechaun cap with a clover on it.
It didn't used to be that way, did it?
I don't know. Maybe. It is pretty impressive how detailed they are, considering how small and like cheap they are.
That's weird. It's a weird. It's
American innovation.
Right?
That's what that
and
is.
Then these weird shapes.
What are they?
I don't know.
All right, somebody's got to find out.
Yeah, please.
It's
I mean, I'll do a
Illuminati.
little research maybe next episode, and we'll crack.
You know
it.
who should do this?
What? Who?
Cereal.
Oh God. Why'd you even have to go? You brought the cereal link up just just to bring that up.
Well, that joke happened miraculously by itself.
Okay.
I wanted to pivot into the cereal thing. Did you hear what happened?
Yeah, it's
Hold on.
Yeah.
Going back to cereal really quickly.
Which cereal?
The food. Kellogg's is going to have a pop-up in Times Square because
Explain to
why
people
not?
what a pop-up is.
It's a limited availability sort of store that just happens to pop up for a day or a week.
Yeah.
Like a
month.
marketing
Come on,
by a
it's a
company.
stunt. It's a
I
stunt.
know.
Vox
Trying to
pop-ups
speak to
Well, you
the
know-
people at home that may not know
Yes,
what a
not
pop-up
everyone
It's like
lives
a
in New
very-
York City and
right,
gets
it's
a
New York
pop-up.
thing. Right.
I guess you're right.
God damn it, Jim.
Point is,
You're right.
Kellogg's is going to be selling bowls of whatever branded cereal that
Because
you
usually
want.
they just give stuff away at these pop-ups.
Right. Guess how much a bowl of cereal is going to be? Frosted Flakes at this pop-up in Times Square.
It should be $2.
It should be free. It's an advertising spot.
Right. Pop-ups are usually associated with free.
$7.50.
I
Shut
don't
the
understand why.
What?
There's more.
Who's
to
gonna
it.
pay-
There's more to it than that, right? You get something else.
Yeah, there better be a hand
you get the
job.
bowl. Maybe you get the bowl.
Better be a
Maybe.
better tickle you.
Still,
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't want to pay that much for a bowl of cereal and a plastic bowl. What am I going to do with that plastic bowl for the rest of the day?
It's a souvenir. Welcome to
don't
New York.
care.
It's got the I Love New York on it. Welcome.
I'll buy it on eBay
Cereal
for $2.
cafe. So apparently Pixar has a cereal cafe.
Where?
In Pixar, there's like a space in their offices where you just walk up and there's like every cereal on the planet and you just sit there at a bar and eat cereal.
Well, there is a local
Cereal only place.
shoe retailer called Kith, and he opened the guy who runs it,
Yeah.
he opened a store in Brooklyn that has cereal and sneakers.
That sounds
Which to
very
me is
Brooklyn-y.
just- It
They sell skateboards too?
no.
He's missing skateboards.
Strictly.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I'm reading about this pop-up. So apparently, I'm not saying this excuses it, but the idea is so it's cereal. It's not a normal bowl of cereal, though. You order like a special. So there's called Life in Color, which is Fruit Loops with this lime zest, marshmallows, and passion fruit jam.
Jesus.
And it's all designed
sounds
by
disgusting.
Chef Christina Tosi, founder and owner of Momofuku Milk Bar. So they're like
whatever.
fancy desserts, essentially. But
Okay.
now we know why
All
the
right,
hell
well,
they're good. I'm not saying
still
that
not gonna
excuses
pay.
it, but yeah.
That much.
Going to the other cereal news of the week. This is unprecedented.
I mean, it's not, but
It's pretty
it's
rare.
for the exact formation of how this happened. I agree, it's pretty rare.
the path to this.
Yes, the path to this is unprecedented. Sure.
This is amazing. So 2014 NPR debut. Was it NPR that did it?
Yeah, part of NPR.
Yep.
Debuted a podcast called Serial. It was about this man, Adnan Saeed.
Yeah, sure.
There was one case for the
One
whole
case.
season.
Whole
It's
season
like
of
12
podcast.
episodes.
Yep.
He was convicted and sentenced to life for the murder of his at the time girlfriend.
Mhm.
And now, all these years later, 16 years later, he is getting a retrial.
Yeah.
Now, they've talked to the lawyers. They said this is pretty much a direct result of the podcast,
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
No question.
which is unbelievable.
It is and it isn't. So if you think about the law, like the legal system right now, it is so overloaded and so like time constrained and so rushed. So the idea that like you would have 12 or however many people work on serial full-time staffers researching a case versus one, in this case, very overworked defense attorney. I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, but the reason he's getting a new case is because they determined that his defense attorney did not do a proper job.
Incompetent.
Was essentially incompetent.
Yeah.
And that was a big theme of that podcast.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
totally. So I mean, all this goes to show is like if someone's willing to take the time, a lot of documentaries strive to do this as well, which is we're going to focus on something that no one else has the time to do,
like
and change.
making a murder,
Yeah.
right? Like that thing.
Sure, it's interesting you
see
mentioned that
that.
because a lot of people feel like it was not an accurate
Right.
portrayal of what happened in making
Right.
a murder. But or like the SeaWorld thing, which is obviously very accurate and obviously yielded a lot of change and probably will sink SeaWorld as a brand eventually.
fine.
Right.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I think we're all
totally
okay
fine.
with that these days.
But I mean, that's what it goes like. If you look at it on the surface, it's kind of ridiculous that a podcast did this, but it's also like, hey, someone took the time to like dig
Oh,
so deep,
It's
and that's
investigative journalism.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and not only
kind of
that,
the
it
point.
was fine investigative.
Yeah,
that
it was
was
great.
amazing.
And she
work.
really did a great job trying to keep it even-handed and like,
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if-
she's constantly guessing herself. She's constantly
like-
questioning herself.
Yeah,
She's
she
like, I
says
can't-
every week, like, I don't know.
But then I think about this, and like
Yeah.
I think the lack of evidence is staggering in this case. The Baltimore judge it says from this story in The Guardian, has said categorically that the original guilty verdict 16 years ago lacked foundation.
Right.
Like,
Because
come on.
it was all based on this cell phone data that was determined to be not exactly accurate.
Right.
And-
Now, again, like, there are a few things in the story that, like, kind of do make sense for the conviction a little
Sure.
bit. Right? Like, the door swings both ways, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, this is really
But if
really
you also
interesting.
remember during that first season, the reporter, I forget her name, she goes to, was it a college, right? And she was getting the help of a
Interns
professor
and, like-
her,
Oh, yeah.
her
And, like,
students,
litigation
basically,
interns and
right?
stuff like
but
that,
it was a group that
Innocence
tended
Project.
to, yeah. I'm like, and they come to the conclusion that
There wasn't
either
enough
there
here.
wasn't enough evidence or that he just wasn't guilty.
I believe the language was something around like unanimously they all thought this was
This
like,
needed to go to retrial.
yeah, something didn't shake out right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's amazing. It really is amazing. There you have it. I don't know when.
I
this is
really
gonna
hope he
happen.
didn't do it.
Yeah,
After
I
all
really
this,
hope he's
yeah.
innocent. Like, not
But I don't
hope that he's innocent. Hope that he did not murder her.
Right.
I don't want to cheer for this
but
guy.
I don't
because-
know. It's amazing how much time we've all like spent listening to this story, and him specifically, like his interviews, I find the most interesting because it's like you're hearing directly from him, and he sounds honest. But then there's all this crazy evidence. His buddy Jay, like knowing the location of the body, but like there's like all sorts of levels to it. That's really interesting.
It really is. Unfortunately, it's real. Like, I wish this was like a crime drama.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and unfortunately, like, the podcast glamorized this entire thing like that, which I kind of have a little bit of an issue with.
But otherwise, it wouldn't have happened.
You're right. Exactly. This whole thing kind of reminds me of this new show coming on HBO called The Night Of.
Yeah.
That kind of
yeah.
feels a lot
Looks
like
cool.
this. Yeah. With John Turturro.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. It's like a true crime.
It's like a
drama.
miniseries.
Miniseries, yeah.
Yeah. So
Looks interesting.
It feels like
does.
it's like, oh, True Detective shit the bed, and this is how we replace it.
I guess so. It's only a miniseries.
Do I
so
need to
think-
watch True Detective?
Season one?
First
You should
season
see.
one is really good.
Just watch
Okay.
season one.
Second,
All right.
second season's garbage.
Season one
gotcha.
for me is some of the best television I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's a bold statement.
I mean, look, I saw the best VR I saw this week,
I know.
and True Detectives. Some
All
of the
the
best TV.
superlatives. Check in the box.
Look, here's what it is. All right, we only have a few more minutes. On our program, we have been tackling the great social issues of our day, and Peter Ha.
Are we really going to talk about this?
Do you not want to?
I don't know.
'Cause I can just
it's
cut
just
this
not
all out.
applicable to anyone really outside of.
I think it is actually. Well, specifically the like.
What about the airport? Airport's
Okay.
way
Oh,
easier
boy.
to talk
Okay, let's
about.
talk about the airport.
for the
Yes,
record,
oh, man.
we planned on talking about the subway, but now we're
Airport
going to
applies to
another.
everyone.
Everyone's been. Well,
Mode.
most people have been to the airport.
I'd
Not
say-
everyone's been on a subway,
I'd say
especially in New York.
Yeah, I'd say the majority of our listeners have been on an airplane.
Okay.
At least once.
So what is it? At
mean,
the
they're-
airport? What drives you nuts?
What grinds your gears? And relate this to like the social sort of.
It's either the security line or it's the onboarding process.
Okay.
Do either of you have a preference?
Oh. So
do you mean?
I have some interesting things about the onboarding process that
Okay.
I'd like to talk about, but so let's do that.
Onboarding?
Yeah, let's do onboarding.
Why don't they just let everyone on from the back to the front?
Right. So
MythBusters did us an episode on this.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know that.
I know timing wise it doesn't make a difference, but to me, I'm just
MythBusters did a thing, and I believe, and they like added all the variables that come with that, right?
Yeah.
So like, all right, so you do the back first,
Yeah.
but like people don't get to the terminal when they should. So
Yeah.
But the majority of the people, let's say, are there.
I'd say half are.
Really? You think
Yeah,
it's just half?
people, like, I don't know, man. These days, I want to be the last person on the plane. Like, I don't go when they call my
that's
boarding group.
crazy because I don't want to check my bag, so I want to make sure.
so
there's
I
pocket
agree.
space.
I agree. If I don't have to, if I don't have a bag to bring on,
Totally, I
I
don't
would
care.
much prefer to be the last person
Totally,
on.
100%.
All right, I've been flying 2 to 3 times a year for like a decade now, right? I've found that if I have a carry-on thing, I wait to the end so that I could check it for free. Then,
little tactic.
then it's always the first bag off,
Right.
Because it's the last bag on. So when you get to the terminal, You got to go out through the baggage claim area
Yeah,
anyway.
but sometimes you have to wait a half hour.
I've never
Yeah.
waited for that situation,
Oh, I've had
and it is
disasters.
specific. I've only waited 15 minutes tops.
Sometimes you will get lucky if you gate check because
Right.
when you arrive and they bring it actually up to you
Yes, they
do.
on the walkway, whatever that thing is called.
Right.
So I've been traveling quite a bit the last month, I'd say.
How often?
I've gone to Korea, I've gone to Chicago, I've gone to Denver, Portland,
Whoa.
and back.
Wow.
All in the last 4 weeks.
That's awesome.
Quite a bit. So it's
We asked this guy
It's
what's
very-
going on.
it's
and
very
he's
annoying.
like,
It's
like,
very
nothing.
annoying.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. To your point, no one's ever at the gate on time. Well, actually, that I can't verify that, but what I will say is that everyone just somehow doesn't understand what their ticket says.
Or they
Sure.
crap.
So
number.
it's like zone 1 is boarding,
Yeah.
and then some asshole who's supposed to be in zone 4
Yeah.
or a group of them come up, and
Right.
it's just like, what are you doing?
What are you
Don't
doing?
act stupid.
So you're
you
talking
can
about
read.
the people that literally get to the gate agent and they're like, no, you have to go around or you have to go back.
You have to wait.
Right.
I was
Like,
telling
why?
I was
I don't
telling this to Vinny on our flight out to LA.
Yeah.
Without fail, every flight I'm on, there's a gaggle of people hoarding around the gate.
Just waiting.
And I'm like,
what?
Sit the hell down. You're boarding group G.
Okay, hold on. So this is where I have to jump in and
cattle
say,
mentality.
Because he's
This
he's
is my
that guy.
process.
He's that guy. He's admitting
let
it.
me give you my process. I almost never check bags. Like really strive to
I
not
never
check
check bags.
You guys are. It's not that bad.
Never.
It's
So-
not that
No.
bad.
But,
No.
but it's important because it's like I don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
how'd you go
It
to
sucks.
Korea and not check a bag?
I didn't check a bag.
You're a
Yeah, I'm sure it's
psycho.
not there. If I'm traveling for 4 days, there's no reason to check a bag. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. So
Yeah.
it's very important for me to get on the plane as quickly as possible because I want to make sure I have overhead space.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it.
I do not jump to like if I'm group C, let's say, I'm not going to start boarding when it's group A. But as B is petering out, I will get in line
This is
at
what
the
I do
end
too.
of B.
And
that's the pro
So
move.
you're part of the problem too.
No,
Pete?
No.
Because B is petering out. So it's like the end of B at this
You
point.
see the end of the group in front of you and you're like, they're going to call my group
Right.
anyway.
And they never stop you if it's
Yeah.
that close.
All right, so you're complaining about the people from Group 5 standing up when
Yeah,
Group 1's
I think
only
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But
Yes.
like even before they even call a group, there's people there. Like Group 4 guy, the
everyone
pain
just
in the ass.
mills about. Everyone
Well,
just
but
mills about.
I will start getting towards the entry point to the
Oh
lane
God.
before my
And
group.
you know, so it's that
'cause then I have the
mentality.
angle.
It's that mentality
Yeah.
that leads to the situation where you have that.
Not everyone is actually smart enough to think about it that way.
Right.
People just assume like, I don't know what my ticket says. I clearly can't read, so I think this is my group, so
And
I'm
they
going to
just
try to
go.
get on.
Yeah, that's not what I'm doing. I'm boxing everyone out so I can go when it's time.
You're not giving
It's a
people
little,
enough
it's a
credit.
level of strategery that I agree with,
Right.
and
A
I
little bit
adhere
of
to.
tactics.
I understand what you guys are saying. I also think you should really rethink the whole checking bag thing.
No.
because
No.
that is not
Won't
as
do
The
bad.
that.
last time I checked a bag, they lost it,
That's what I'm saying. That happens.
and then
Very
it ended
rarely.
up.
If it happens 1% of
doesn't
the time,
matter.
it's too much.
1%
once.
is not bad.
It's too much for me.
My
Why
bag-
bother?
When I was flying to Germany for some press junket, whatever, years and years ago.
Layovers?
No.
Okay.
Correct.
It never actually left JFK, and they couldn't find the bag for 6 months. And I'm like,
6 months?
great.
It's a disaster.
That's
terrible.
bad. That's
Not to
bad.
mention like what they do to your stuff, the stuff in your bag when it's behind closed doors. You've
I don't
seen all
even
those
wanna think
videos of
about
like
that.
people, well, whatever. They're just like breaking
chuck 'em,
cameras and
Steal.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's why luggage is durable.
well, but they have to open and check everything, and if they see like $20 in your
they
pocket.
They don't. First of all, God, you're mean to these people.
I've
Like,
seen a lot of videos of
so
people.
it happens. Of course, it happens. But like, they're not all criminals.
But you're 100% right. But why bother taking the risk? Why not just keep my stuff with me? It doesn't
Look,
bother me. To
I was
board
in
the-
LA for 6 days. I gotta bring like 10 nice shirts to wear.
What?
Why?
Because I wear 2 shirts a day.
That sounds
And
like a
you need-
personal problem.
Yeah.
No, because you can't wear.
Learn how to pack.
You can't
Right.
wear a dress shirt during the day, do your whole thing, and then go out at night in the
But
same shirt. It's
undershirts is for.
no, and even so, fine. I have to
Also,
bring
you're
six-
disgusting and sweaty. So like we've already established.
I'm
that.
disgusting and sweaty.
You've said specifically how sweaty and gross you get in the summer months.
Yeah.
E3 is particularly that case. So
Although
maybe you're a different
I get
person.
really sweaty.
Yes.
You know what I've done in the last year?
Tell
I've
me.
switched to merino wool.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta
merino
in the,
wool.
in the summer.
Yeah. This is a merino wool shirt.
Oh,
Want to
it's
know why?
a t-shirt.
Yeah, I
It's-
do.
It has like
Merino.
antimicrobial,
merino.
antibacterial properties or whatever, so you can
so
actually wear it more than once, even if you sweat.
That's cool.
Sweat in it.
Oh, it's like
it's
the
not
Mac-
gonna,
it's
it's not
like
going
the
to
Mac
trap
Weldon
it.
stuff.
It's not going to trap it like cotton.
Yeah. I
All
like
right.
that Jeff typed in marina like it's a boat place.
That's what it sounded like.
Sorry. Also, going back to the flying thing, I've gotten into the habit now of just paying the 15 or 20 extra bucks if it's available to me to board first and cut through security.
Yeah.
That to me, I'm like,
Depends.
totally worth it.
Virgin does that.
You do plus, right? Or whatever it's called. Pre-check?
Pre-check.
Not yet. I have an interview for that
Oh, okay.
in a couple weeks.
you're not gonna make
if
it.
if you travel as much
I know,
as
it's
it
like
sounds
worthless now. Everyone has it.
Everyone
do you
has
mean?
it.
Really?
Dude, when
TSA
I-
pre-check, like the times
so
an
the
article
line,
about
it's
it.
huge.
Now it can be huge.
it's just a tax
You
on
don't
like
have to take your shoes off or take your laptop out of your bag.
That's true.
That alone is worth it.
fine, but again, it's like, what's to stop? I don't know. I don't see the illusion. Like it's an illusion of safety.
What do
you
you
know
mean?
what I mean? Like, there, to
it's
me,
not
it's
an
like
illusion of safety. It's just about convenience.
I
least
understand,
for
but like
me.
the
You're
idea
saying
is like
it wouldn't
we're gonna
stop a terrorist.
right, like we're gonna do a background check on you. But like if this the first time you decided to do something terrible,
Whether
like,
you're going through the TSA pre-check line or the regular check line,
it doesn't matter
it
Yeah.
boils down to TSA
for sure.
Right.
and they suck no matter what.
For sure, yeah, it's a problem.
What do you know?
terrible.
What information they gather from you beyond just like a basic background check before?
I think they fingerprint you.
You have to give them your basic like social security.
Yeah.
I think your history, your address is basically like 5-7 years back.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
work history, etc.
Yeah, Mark has it.
Okay.
It depends on the airport too, right? Like not
Yeah.
every
Not
airport
everyone has
supports it.
TSA
Sure.
pre-check.
Some gates, like I know in Newark, the term excuse me, Terminal A doesn't do it.
Sure.
Like only the other ones do. And
Yeah.
Newark's a huge airport.
Here's what I'm curious about. So a friend of mine, Rami Ismail, who's an independent developer, he's from Egypt.
I know him.
He's from Egypt. He keeps a website, a Tumblr, I guess it is, whatever, of how many times he gets stopped at the airport.
Yeah.
Which is extremely frequent. It's about
Right.
60% of the time.
Right.
I wonder
Why?
because what do you want? Like that's who they're stopping, unfortunately.
No, I know.
So I'm curious whether if he signed up, I don't know if he could because he's not a U.S. citizen, but if he signed up or someone of Egyptian descent with an Egyptian name signed up for that in pre-check, whether that would cut down on the number of times you're getting stopped.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of interesting.
It's an interesting question.
know.
He's a very funny dude.
He is, yeah, and very driven.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by his drive.
Yeah, he makes some good games. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. You just got the three of us mad, is what you did with that.
Yeah,
No, it's
it's
interesting.
Friday.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, nothing to get mad at because this is a great show.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
Always a
See you
pleasure
guys.
having you
Should be
here.
back soon. Once again soon.
Yeah.
Let's not
would
wait
like
3
that.
years.
Oh my god,
I think the last time I was here was probably 2 years.
Yeah.
that's
too
crazy.
long.
That's crazy.
Maybe 3. I don't know.
All right, we'll definitely do it again before the year's out. Where can people find you if they want to follow a man who hates everything?
I guess Twitter and Instagram. It's
Yeah.
at the Peter Ha.
At the Peter Ha.
Are you the same emotional bombast that you are in voice as you are on social media?
Yeah.
I think you're worse on social.
Yeah.
I think you're way
on
more
social.
pessimistic on social.
I'm a dick.
You could just tell, like, no punctuation, no.
I hate everything.
Yeah,
I miss having a copywriter or a
What?
copy editor around.
Yeah.
totally. Name one thing you like besides motorbikes.
Oh God, Rumpelstiltskin.
What? The
What?
character?
Yeah.
The man who hates everything loves Rumpelstiltskin.
The like
Go
old
figure.
timey character from the stories, or you mean the character on Once Upon a Time?
Or is that a code for like acid?
That is
Never know.
Oh my god, that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
All right, you heard it here first. That threw me away. I didn't think I'd get.
I could
through
I
it.
also like my dog.
Okay,
that's cool.
That
Your
was more
dog's cool.
predictable. I
Your
could
dog's
guess 10,000 times and not guess Rumpelstiltskin,
You'd still be going.
which I guess is the point of Rumpelstiltskin. You're not supposed to be able to guess his name.
There it is. Thank you so much to Peter. Everyone out there, have a fantastic holiday weekend. If
safe.
you are in the country celebrating 4th of July, be careful with those fireworks.
Yeah, don't hold them and set them. Like,
Don't point them at people
it's bad.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't point them.
unless
Throw
they're
them.
like 100 yards away.
Right.
Know where you're going to throw it if you're going to throw it.
Nowhere to throw 'em.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you guys next week. 866-444 866-404-CNET. That is the phone number. Shoot us an email to 44@cnet.com. We're back here next week with a brand new show. Until then, we'll see you soon.